overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 Tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 doors down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of '99 Tour.
It's time! Get it down!
Bain drives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Close, he hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jaren with a knockaway.
Good defense!
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
That's no show! Let's go!
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th-round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000, you think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage. Total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
There's nothing like playoff basketball.
Boy, nothing like playoff basketball in Memphis.
The atmosphere of a Grizzlies playoff game is super exciting.
Oh my God, it's absolutely electric. I love seeing the crowd out.
Everybody's just screaming their heads off. You feel like you're in a movie.
People are down here. Everyone's got on their Grizz gear.
The city's excited. Everybody's excited to watch. There's really nothing like it, and I really can't wait.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
All you American wrestling fans out there, watching this international road to WrestleMania should be a wake-up call. Turn up at these shows. Stop being so spoiled, because Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes,
I love it.
Cody Rhodes.
Let's go, Cena. Cena sucks.
Yeah.
I'm wagging my finger because you're telling those people that they need to do better.
Yeah.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Live from downtown Memphis, this is the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Chris Vernon.
Here we go. It's noon on GrindCityMedia.com. It's Chris Vernon Show. Welcome. It's a Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025 edition of the show. Today on the show, there's a game 2 last night between the Grizzlies and the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now the Grizzlies are down 0-2 coming back home to play tomorrow night at FedEx Forum. We'll go through everything we saw last night in Oklahoma. There was 2 other NBA playoff games that went on last evening. We'll cover those. NFL Draft is about to get underway tomorrow. Jessica Benson from the Jessica Benson Show will be in here as she is on Wednesdays. It's all right outside. Smile. Let's do it. Turn it up. Yeah. Hope everybody's having a good day. All right, bunch of stuff to get to on the show today, not the least of which is the Grizzlies losing in Oklahoma City last night to the Oklahoma City Thunder by a score of 118-99, and now are down 0-2 in their playoff series, which comes back to Memphis for playoff basketball on FedEx Forum tomorrow night. Before I get into anything, I welcome John Roser to the show. John Roser, a.k.a. the Cologne Ranger, the Body Spray Bandit, in your sack. Johnny Backpole, Johnny Bearcat, the Grim Roser, John Asparagus, Johnny Neckcarve, John Lance. He's Dr. Thunder. He's Yogi Roser. Hello, John. Hello. Devin Walker's here. He's the microphone mangler, Senor Quasadilla, Mr. Matt, Nabo Joe, the reporter, the photographer. He is Sir Hiss. He's Walker 93.
Hello, good people. How y'all doing, man? Y'all feeling good?
Faith of a honey mustard seed.
Yeah, that seed is getting small about the day, my guy. I ain't gonna hold you. The mustard seed's already small.
That seed, it got peed on again.
Grizz in 6.
Somebody stepped on that mug last night.
All right. I saw
888-HOOP, Grizzlies.com. Get your tickets. Game 3 tomorrow night.
You know it's not going well when Devin Walker has to use the middle finger emoji to somebody that tweeted him, Game 2 Ja. All right.
Yeah, I was not feeling it yesterday.
Talk amongst yourselves.
I was getting madder and madder. I even left our group chat. I was getting so mad, bro.
You did. You stopped.
I stopped, bro.
Replying to anything.
If you saw me at the watch party, the margarita started to hit me, and I was like, yeah, I'm fed up.
It stinks.
All right.
But we talked about the stages of grief, and I hit acceptance over a month ago.
Hey,
so
only a few more of these left.
Yeah, we ain't got many left.
Okay. So.
Having fun.
Yeah.
As I begin. One positive is that the game only took 2 hours and 14 minutes.
It did move quiet. It did move fast. I was home by 9 o'clock.
All right, here we go. So, here's what I'm going to say. I expressed this to Gary Parrish this morning on his show. I am at the point, after watching this play out, and again, here's hoping that they can get a win at home. Even a win would feel like some kind of small victory. Last night, when they won a quarter, we viewed it as hey, look, at least they won a quarter, right? Yeah, wow, we won a quarter once. Look, if they and coming back home, I fully expect. Look, this is. Let me just speak on this before I get into the game because you know I'm going to be super frustrated today. Okay, but obviously I've had a lot of time to think about this. This is what being a fan is, right? And sometimes being a fan of a team is a thankless proposition, right? You feel like you are, like, you wonder why, right? And then the good times happen, and then you realize, and trust me, as someone who is a Cardinals fan and is a Cowboys fan, I have been through this a great deal. And the last thing on earth that you ever want to see from your fans is apathy, right? Like, you want the passion, right? You should be mad about this and the state of this. Now, with that being said, I hope that can get channeled into, like, there's nothing, the only thing that would upset me is if it's not slammed tomorrow night. Like, it's got to be slammed, right? Like, again, you've already invested, especially if you're listening to this show, we've already invested. We can't become uninvested now.
Nah, we're too locked in, bro.
It is what it is. And the result may be the result. But I sincerely hope that it is slammed tomorrow night. I hope you go get tickets to it.
Absolutely.
And that it becomes this amazing playoff environment that can lift them up to be able to compete at the highest level. Because, now let me set that aside, okay? Again, you're already invested, so it is what it is, right? They're playing 2 more games, these games are in Memphis, and you got to show pride. End of story. You got to show pride as a fan base. You also, that team has to show some pride, okay? There were moments last night, you guys know, when I was so frustrated. I'm like, do they know this is on TV? Do you know this is on TV? Like, this is on TV.
We can see you.
We can see you. I'm watching you not care as much as your opponent. I'm watching that. That is not you being outmanned. That's you not having the same amount of tenacity as your opponent. I've told you 1,000 times. It's the only thing I care about. They are outmanned. They're not as good. They have 3 quality NBA starters on the team. No one else on that team would start for any of these teams I'm watching in the playoffs. That's the truth, okay? That's the truth. I don't care who's coaching them. That's the truth of what they have. When you go back, and so now it is turned into, because first it was the coach, right? You had a whole bunch of people that it was like, oh, no, it's not the roster. The roster's good. It's Taylor Jenkins doesn't use them right. And he cost Zach Edey Rookie of the Year, and he cost John Morant this, and he did what. Okay, so now you see. Was it him? Was it him? So now it's, hey, this is year 5 of John Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson Jr., and, you know, they won 1 playoff series, and you see the results of whatever. Like, I text you this last night because this is already starting. And I've told you, I think but all 3 of those guys are super high-level players. They are. You cannot flank them with players that are not. You can't. You can't. We saw those 3 guys at a younger age. So don't tell me that they're worse than they were 3 years ago. I watched them go into Golden State for a game 4 that they lost 101-98. And they were right there, and they had lost John Morant to an injury on the Jordan Poole play at half court. That Warriors team was absolutely awesome. And they lost 101-98 in that game, and Dillon Brooks shot him completely out of it. I tweeted after the game, I have never been more mad at a player. The second John Morant wasn't there, because he's the one that had the guts, he was foolhardy in thinking, okay, I've got to go do this. But he ended up just shooting every shot, right? The Warriors wanted him to shoot every shot, and he obliged. And we lost by 3. Came back at home, beat him by 1,000, then lost game 6 on the road, okay? That is a few years ago. That's after beating the Minnesota Timberwolves, right? That's just a few years ago. So you were right there with that team, and you had Dylan Brooks as your small forward, and you had Steven Adams as your center, and then you had Brandon Clark, and you had Kyle Anderson, and you had Tyus Jones, and you had, Xavier Tillman would play some and whatever, right? But, that was what you had. And so these guys were flanked with players that gave them a chance. Last night, when Zach Edey sets a high screen and John Morant looks up and the guy from the corner doesn't have to guard his man and the center doesn't have to guard his man and the guard that's trying to fight around the screen doesn't have to guard his and now it's like, can John Morant lead a team? Can John Morant? John Morant can't. There's nobody in the league that can play 1-on-3. If you can't throw the ball out, if you cannot throw it to the center to finish the play, if you cannot throw it to a shooter to finish the play, now I'm playing 1-on-3. What are you watching? What are you watching? It's not good enough. Okay? So there are severe limitations no matter what, because you don't have guys that are high level enough to not make you pay. I have made my opinion clear about the veteran thing 100,000 times. I've stood on that from the beginning of this season, no matter how good things were. I said, when things go wrong, you're going to need a vet. Somebody that's won something. Somebody that's been in playoff games. Because that's when it starts to go downhill. And so you're 3 years removed. You have not improved, though you have used damn near every draft pick to try to do it. You have not improved at the small forward position from Dylan Brooks. You have not improved at the center position from Steven Adams. That's the God's honest truth. You only have 2 spots to fill. That's it. You only have 2. And I don't want to hear about Jalen Wells and Brandon Clark being out. They are average NBA players. That's what they are. I love them because they are on my team. But sometimes we need to take a step back, and in the context of Kendrick Williams could be playing 30 minutes for this team. He can't get on the court for Oklahoma City. All right? So you are way outmanned. But no matter how outmanned you are, you can still play with a level of heart and tenacity that when this team is down by 22 and they are the ones hustling for loose balls, I want to vomit. Yeah. That's when I'm going, bro, you know this is on TV, right? Yeah. They're seeing that.
We can see you, bro.
Everybody sees that.
That's when I got
You don't play hard. You don't. You're already up against it. You're already up against it, right? It might not be good enough no matter what. I think most people accept that. That's why that team had the season they had. That's why you had the season you had, okay? But the only chance you got is that you were the harder playing team. That's the only chance you've got, that you're the one hustling. There was the possession, and I even saw Devin tweet about it during last night's game. Second and third effort on defense. Why did that stand out?
Because we never do it. Because we never do it.
And it was
it
one
time, and I was like, yes!
Oh, my God!
They rotated!
God! They rotated and hustled and made him take a bad shot at the end of the shot clock.
Exactly. Got the ball, rebound, got it off in transition.
It was like... It was something we never see.
I was so excited.
To the point where Devin tweets about it, like, hey, I see it, right? And it's like, you know this is how you play basketball, right? Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Second and third efforts. Mm-hmm. Oh, the ball went there. Now I'm scrambling this way. Ball went there. They did it for one possession, and we were like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Great defensive possession. They do it every possession. Why? Why do they do it every possession? Why? Tell me. Why?
They have good defensive players.
No,
but you ain't got to be a good
That's not about being good defensively.
It's a hard thing, bro.
That's effort, bro.
That's hard, bro.
They play.
You ain't got to. What makes you a good defender, Roser?
Yeah, like you have to play, but you also got to be a good defender. You also have to be a good defensive player.
What makes you a good defensive player?
We don't like it, dude. It doesn't.
Defense is effort, bro.
It's effort, bro. It ain't no.
The reason you're a good defender is because you play hard.
Tony Allen, bro, Tony Allen played harder than everybody. Everybody.
Tony Allen was also a great defender.
But
he
the heart makes him a great
understood how
defender,
to
though.
play defense. Yeah, no, that is.
There are
That's part of
certainly
it.
guys that have the ability to be great defenders that don't.
Yeah.
And so what's the difference? We always say they need a heart transplant.
I don't think a lot of our guys have that ability.
What do you mean?
Like,
they don't have the ability to run?
I don't think like
they don't have the ability to move?
To rotate?
Yeah.
Come on.
Defensively? Like,
Come
yeah,
on.
dude. Like, no.
They don't have the ability to run to a loose ball? They don't have the ability
No,
to
that's
run.
just not how they are. Like, that's not the kind of players they are. Like, they're not those guys.
Then get rid of them!
Yell at me. I preached all this a month ago and you killed me for it.
No, because you try to jump off the ledge way too quick, bro. You try to end the season.
You
should have
too.
I ain't about ending the season before it's over with, bro. I'm a ride it out kind of guy, Rose. I'm ride with mine. Then I'm gonna let you know.
And here's the deal. I will say this, and this is in stark contrast to what boobs like Roser think. You admit, as I do, things need to change drastically.
Yeah.
This is the absolute best thing that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is missing this and fooling yourself. That's the worst.
That's how
thing.
you want to spin that. That's fine.
No, the worst
I
thing-
think missing it also says, yo, we're not good enough too.
No. You would have made excuses for missing it. You'd have said, oh, and we, look, our season went down the tubes because of the old coach, and then we had to install a new one, and it wasn't in time, and because of this, and because of that, and then we lost Brandon, and then we lost Jalen, and you just start making excuses, and you go, hey, when we were currently
You
constructed...
can make the Brandon and Jalen excuses for this too if you want to.
That's
I agree. It's crazy.
It's
but you
outrageous.
could.
That's outrageous.
No human with eyes.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
No human with eyes could watch them in the regular season and not
even
see
Stevie
this.
Wonder.
They couldn't beat anybody good all season.
No, this is against the Thunder, though. And this, because I'm telling you, like, you're going to think I'm crazy. They 100% could play with Houston. And you're just wrong if you don't think they could. That would be a long series that would trick us into thinking. And then they'd get mashed. Even if they got past Houston, they'd have gotten mashed in the next round. Houston is not that. They're not.
No, Houston's not that.
No, that Houston series would have been a long series that you could have convinced yourself of something that's not true. This is the top. So you're fast forwarding. Like, this is what you face if you've got to play in a West Finals and you see the distance. That's what you see. The distance between, if you don't play them, you never feel that. And I know that you think that, again, they did not beat good teams, but they competed with the other teams. Bro, you just watched a week ago them play the Warriors. You're 2 Steph Curry threes away. And you can say there's some massive difference between those two teams.
Yeah.
You were 2 Steph Curry threes away.
If they played the Warriors in a playoff series, it would be a quick series.
Okay, this is 8 threes away. This isn't 2.
I'm well aware.
They had to make the plays.
8 threes
I'm
is
saying the
crazy.
distance between the Grizzlies and some of those other teams was at least close enough that if you played them in a series and now you're playing a 6-game series, you might convince yourself that you've got 2 of your 6-man rotation out, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. When you fast forward and now you're playing the Oklahoma City Thunder and you're getting beat by 1,000 and you can't even compete, and you sit there and you go, these are not the play. This group of players is not waking up and going to be able to compete with that. That's never happening, ever. You can stick with it as long as you want. But instead, what I think will happen is you will end up having big change.
How?
Huge roster change.
So how?
Well, you've got Santi Aldama, and you've got to make a decision on that. And it very well this may be the best thing for your case. You want me to be positive for you?
If you need salary if you want salary to trade, you have to sign him to something big and then deal.
Why do you keep Marcus Smart's contract is falling off the books. Luke Kennard's contract is falling off the books.
It's like $18 million in cap right now.
No.
Yeah, the
cap's going up 10%.
It's like, it's projected to be like
Go look at
it's like 154 is what the cap's projected to be.
No.
Salary cap.
The luxury tax is 180 something.
26.
So what is
And the first apron is like 191.
Okay.
They have money.
Okay.
And they have players. And they by the way, they have to fill roster spots.
We have 3 players.
No. Kennard's falling off.
Yeah.
Santi is falling off.
Okay.
Marcus Smart's contract is falling off.
Okay.
Like, I mean, this stuff is available on the internet. You can look it up.
I'm well aware of all this. I'm well aware of
So
that.
why do you keep saying how? Like, that's what you do. Here's money I was spending on someone else. Now I'm spending it on somebody different.
Okay.
Like, what do you mean?
Okay. Like,
you got the answers, bro.
I don't have the answers. Like, I wish I did have all the answers.
But this was the reason that you got off of the Smart thing. Is because you now are...
It was to offer Jaren more money in his extension.
Understood, but now you are more malleable in the offseason. You were going to use... You tried to use this...
great flexibility.
You tried to use the Smart thing in the offseason. No, look, the pressure is 100% on the front office to get something done. Something that is...
That feed is on the fire for real.
That's it. There is no more, right? Like... It's not every, this trade didn't happen because of this, and 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 this trade didn't happen because of this. And then we get to the draft, and everybody said, oh, my God, they got the 9th pick. Well, they ain't going to pick 9. Everybody in the free world reported they're not picking 9. Everybody. And you couldn't get that done either. You couldn't trade up to get that done. You couldn't trade up to get that done. And so now what? Right? Like, enough. This will be risk-taking time.
Yeah.
And general and they have been risk averse. But at this point, what are you going to do? Seriously.
You're not trying to sit back now, bro. You've done that for 4 years.
Step number one is that, like, hopefully there is a packed crowd tomorrow night. And we wanted the home run effort last night, and that's what made me throw my remote.
There's been nothing to suggest. So let's say no. So let's say this
first quarter.
Jaren's extension doesn't kick in until the year after. But there has been nothing to suggest that they are going to go into the tax. There's nothing to suggest that. So what are they going to do? Are we going to do something in free agency for 1 year, and then we're just going to get off that?
What do you mean nothing to suggest? Something can. This series can change your mind, Roser. Can let you know, yo, we got to do what we got to do.
I think that should have been known from the beginning.
But I'm just saying, look
at the teams that win. Like,
but I'm just saying, you watch the series, like, okay,
you
say nothing suggests. You can sit and be like, okay, yeah, nothing suggests, but like, you also watch your team get your ass kicked. So it's like, okay, well, shit, maybe I wasn't at first, but okay, now we got to do what we got to do, bro. Some stuff got to be. We got to shake some stuff up because you ain't doing this. We ain't running this back.
No, I agree. They got to. I'm not disagreeing with you on that. It back. My thing is, there has been nothing to suggest that they're going to do that, though. But when they will go into that tax. There's been nothing to suggest that.
What does that even mean?
Again.
Nothing suggests.
He's trying.
We literally traded Jake LaRavia, Zaire Williams, Marcus Smart, a first-round pick, a second-round pick for Marvin Bagley,
who also falls off the books.
I'm well aware.
I don't think
since you have the solution. Since you have the solution,
okay. So do you have Marvin Bagley's money?
Do I have Marvin Bagley's money?
Yes. Do you have Marvin Bagley's money?
Is it off the books?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
Okay. Do you have Marcus Smart's money?
Sure.
Do you have Luke Kennard's money?
Sure.
And you might have Santi Aldama's money, depending on what they do with that.
And then you pay Jaren.
A ton of that is going to go towards Jaren. They'll have the mid-level.
It doesn't start for another year.
Okay. So you're telling me when Jaren's new deal starts, this is what you're telling me. When it does 2 years from now, they are going to be an apron team. That's what you're telling me.
I mean, we're going to have to.
That's what you're telling me.
I don't think he's going to make All-NBA.
Me either, but, you know.
Which is going to be interesting. Will he take the extension, or then would he say, I'm going to play it out? And I want to see the moves y'all make. That's a whole nother conversation.
It's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother kind of different layer conversation than this one.
If he doesn't make All-NBA, he says, I want to hold off on that. I want to see moves you make.
But you still have, by virtue of the contract that Morant signed and by virtue of the contract that Bane signed.
That might be the best thing that actually could happen.
There are other teams that are spending $65 million on one player.
Yeah.
You're spending $65 on 2 players.
Yeah.
So, I mean... And it's not like they haven't tried in the past. Again, we have criticized them for not making it happen. You literally know, he said they made a huge offer for Kevin Durant. You know they tried to get Jimmy Butler. You know that.
And you also, by the way, to spin this back on, you've said, I'm tired of them trying. They say they try, but nothing ever gets done.
But you can't tell me if you accept that that's true.
Sure.
You accept that.
Sure. We don't know to what extent.
No, you accept that he's not lying.
Sure.
When they say they made a massive offer to try to get Kevin Durant, that he's not lying.
What's a massive offer to them? What's a massive offer to Phoenix?
Okay. You accept that they made a massive offer. They wanted Kevin Durant.
Okay.
You accept that.
Yeah.
We know they wanted Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler had to go to every media outlet in the world and say no.
Okay. So
okay.
They didn't want to give Jimmy Butler a contract extension.
Maybe not. I don't know.
Okay, because this is where I would. If you said and you make a trade for Jimmy Butler, if you offer Jimmy Butler 3 years, $160 million extension, Jimmy Butler's playing for the Grizzlies.
Okay,
he wanted his money. You even said that on the air.
Okay, maybe that is so. Maybe that is so. Maybe he didn't want to play in Memphis. That's also a possibility, Roser. He might not have wanted to be on this team.
It certainly is possible.
But if let's set Butler aside, and now let's go with Durant. Okay? Let's go with Durant. They also tried to attain Lonzo Ball. They also tried to attain Dorian Finney-Smith. Again, these are all things that I've been critical of. But this whole idea that, what is the reason that they can get better? How are they getting... you saw they tried again, the criticism is of them not getting it done. But the criticism can't be, you can't just sit there and say, well, they ain't going to spend money. They tried to...
And you ain't got no choice at this point.
Yeah,
right?
My opinion would be what they have done is, yes, they have taken these big swings that didn't come through. Some are smaller than other swings. Those didn't come through. But their point is we're not doing anything that doesn't greatly improve the team, right? And that's where I sit there. That's my criticism. It's like, bro, you go get Caleb Martin, it is going to make you better. In their view, it's like, does that take you from this to this? How much does that move the needle? If we get DeAndre Hunter, if we get Caleb Martin, if we get one of these kind of guys, right? Yeah. How much does that even move the needle? What we're capable of versus what we would be capable of.
Yeah.
And so then their risk averse is we're not doing it unless it can make us way better. But there is no reason to believe that they wouldn't do something that would make them way better because we know they have tried. I criticize them for, again, you don't get credit for trying.
And the definition of extending is to do the same thing over and over again.
But you don't get credit for trying, but it also does lead us to know that they were willing to. Kevin Durant's contract is not small.
It's not.
Yeah.
And it's something that I would imagine they will try to revisit in the offseason. He'll probably go to Houston. He'll probably go somewhere else. Again.
You don't have contracts to get him now.
Right.
Yeah. Unless without giving up one of the three guys that you seem to be married to.
They're in a position where, look, the contracts are going to be much less significant than the picks to them.
Yeah, bro.
When you're lining up the picks to give to them, that's what they need.
Yeah.
Because they're about to be in a world of crap.
Yep.
Right, and they've given up all those picks for win now, and then they didn't win now.
They didn't win now.
And but the idea that this offseason becomes essential towards the future of the franchise.
It might be the most important joint.
And I think getting smacked around by Oklahoma City lets you know, because I think they believe in Ja, Dez, and Jaren as a trio. I do too.
To what extent?
But they need to have.
What kind of trio are they?
A good one, because we've seen them when they have.
We know they're good. We know they're good.
We've seen them around players that are competent, bro. They hoop, bro. And that was 3 years ago.
Hey, you saw them 3 years ago. You think they're worse?
No. I think they are good. Are they your trio on a title team?
100%.
On a Western Conference Finals
surrounded with two other dudes that can competently play basketball? Yes.
No, surrounded with 5 other guys.
That you can.
There's one time where we had 8. We really had 9. We had 8.
Yeah.
We had 8 players.
With the Kyle, Tyus,
Yeah, I mean, you could look.
Melton, Steve-O, Dylan.
Okay, honestly, all right, take those 3 off the table. Now have a draft.
No. We have 3 players that would play for OKC. They have 10 who would start for us. 11 who would start for us.
Right. I mean,
like Kenrich Williams, like you said, didn't even play last night. He would start for us.
100%.
Isaiah Hardenstein would start for us. Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, Isaiah Joe, they would all start for us.
I mean, we're starting a guy that was on a two-way
We start
last
Scottie
year.
Pippen Jr. at the 3. Alex Caruso would start there. Cason Wallace would start there.
Well, and we have tried to draft a 3 5 different times.
Yeah.
And we still don't have one. We're starting Scottie Pippen Jr. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. Right? Tells you everything you need to know. I mean, honestly, who's the first player you would take off the Grizzlies?
On our team?
Yeah, we're having an expansion draft. Seattle starts a team.
Okay, or
No.
Okay.
No, Seattle starts a team.
With our current roster?
Seattle starts a team.
Jaren.
We protect 3.
Oh, we protect
Every
3.
team can protect 3, so we protect Ja, Jaren, and Dez.
Who is the first that gets taken? Oh, gosh.
Of our roster?
Probably Edie or Wells just because they're rookies.
Okay.
Depending on the team, they might take Santi.
It tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
One team might take
No,
Santi
I'm well aware of this.
Who is not a starter either.
I'm just saying.
Right.
We're doing an expansion draft.
That's right.
I'm giving you a player I would, because some people might think, oh, look, he's
And that's what happened. As the year went on, the coach caught all the flack. But in the end, you see their players versus our players. You know what I mean? We have to give Roser his just desserts as currently constructed.
Currently constructed, we are ass.
And you will never tell me. Look, I argued with him on the day. I got to stand on this till the very end. You'll never tell me that Marcus Smart would not have helped.
100% he would have helped.
It's just crazy.
I mean, not even just on the court, bro.
You telling me Marcus Smart wouldn't have started over Scottie Pippen Jr. in the playoffs?
Bro.
I mean, a guy that has won playoff games. And again, it's about the energy and it is about the intensity going into that game, and it is about not allowing to let go of the rope. Yeah. So when you're not hustling and you're not making the rotation, there's nobody to yell at them. Who's yelling at him? The guy that's had the job for 9 games?
Okay, so then this speaks to
one
something.
of his assistants. Some of these assistants have been sitting next to me.
Okay, but then this speaks to something. This speaks to something larger. Jaren's in his 7th year. Ja's in his 6th year. Dez is in his 5th year. Are they not going to be able to be the veterans that do that for the rest of the team for younger guys?
I just want
Jaren's
somebody
in his 7th season
Roger,
now.
I got it. But
I want somebody that's 30 years old, bro.
Yeah, but do you know who's not that guy? You know who's not exactly what you're talking about and wasn't? One of your favorites, Jason Tatum. You know who else isn't?
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard. You know who else isn't? I mean, you can go on and on. People have different personalities.
Yeah.
People have different personalities. You know who else wasn't? Zach Randolph.
That's why you put him around.
Like, I mean,
that's why
again,
people have
different personalities. So you go, I don't have this, so I need this.
Exactly.
That was the Dylan Brooks role.
Exactly.
And that Dylan Brooks role that they have not improved and has not, because Dylan Brooks is the guy that would stand up and yell. And he also would dive into the first row to grab a loose ball. And so it lifted all boats.
It also doesn't mean they can't still grow into, Jaren's in his 7th year, but he's still 25 years old. They can.
People are different. People have different personalities.
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You become miscast. You know, if there's ever a better example of this, it's a Pau Gasol-led Grizzlies versus Pau Gasol being the second best player on the Lakers.
Yeah, Kobe's sidekick.
Some people are Chris Bosh ain't gonna yell at everybody for missing a defensive rotation or whatever, right? You have to have those kind of guys. And honestly, when the Grizzlies were at their best, of the best version of when we've had these 3 guys, Steven Adams held guys accountable. Kyle Anderson held guys accountable. Dylan Brooks held guys accountable.
Tyus did too.
Even if he seems like a it doesn't have to be your star players.
No.
It has to be somebody.
And that creates a culture, right? And
100%.
Those people create a culture. And you created a culture that was...
Because none of those guys are natural leaders.
And now
they're not.
They're not.
The foundation of the culture has been shaken a little bit.
I think Dez is fiery.
He is a fiery guy.
But he's not as good as Ja, and I don't think he's as good as Jaren. Ja's moody, and Jaren is vibes.
Yeah.
Right.
Jaren just,
You've got to have that's the piece that is missing.
Yeah.
And because that's what doesn't let you. That's what makes you play hard. That's what doesn't let you. It's personality things. And the biggest thing that analytics can never describe is someone who sits with me every Tuesday and now his jersey's in the rafters.
Personality.
I was there. I saw a team change in 11. I saw it. That team was not good. And that team they were a 500 team that was not good defensively.
It changed.
And it's like all of a sudden Zebo's moving his feet. All of a sudden Marc Gasol's a dominant defender. All of a sudden Mike Conley's making second team all defense. Like, what is happening? It can change. But they've got to have somebody that changes it. And that's the thing that it was like, again, in the absence of, like, it's the thing that we needed that to be Marcus Smart. We needed that to be Marcus Smart, and it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Boy.
And then once you moved off of Marcus Smart, there's just a total void. Total void in any kind of. There's nobody that's won anything, and there's nobody to hold everybody accountable. Who is the one? You're counting on, even last night, because if it's not one of your players.
Oh, dude, how many times?
It's not one of your players, it's one of your coaches. How many times have you seen one of our players yelling at another player?
Okay, not. Okay, so here's a perfect.
Des and Santi got into it on the bench one time.
No. Here's a perfect point to that. Do you remember last night? It was in the second half, maybe late third quarter, something like that. We were at the free throw line. We took the free throw. I can't remember who took it. Missed it. Dez flew all the way in from behind the three-point line, grabbed the rebound and laid it in. Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams turned to his team, put his arms up, and was like, "What the F are y'all doing?"
Right.
Whose is that?
Right. How many times do we see it?
If that happens on our end, our guys are just like.
Everybody slumps their shoulders and everybody just goes back to.
That's true.
Ho-humming. And it's like, you have to have that. You have to have that element to it. The guy that's just doing everything he can.
There's so many times last night. How many times did you see that Ja drove, thought he got fouled, mad at the referee, and you never saw him in the frame again?
And they
never saw him.
Look, they have catered to these three in a way that's the line that has to be drawn. It's no longer about catering to these three because you've just tried to you just want everybody to be happy all the time. And it hasn't worked. You haven't made Ja happy. These guys are not happy.
No.
Right? But you've done that by getting, a player's coach. And now it's going to be another player's coach.
No, we ain't got time for
and
that
then
shit,
you
bro.
get rid.
They ain't got time for that.
And then you get rid of anybody that might yell at them in the locker room.
Yeah.
The whole idea is probably Marcus Smart's the kind of guy that would yell at them. So you just get rid of that. Because he may actually yell, you know what I mean?
Why is he rocking the boat so much, guys?
Right.
Stop rocking the boat.
Because it has to be.
These walls aren't
Stop rocking the boat so much, man.
Look, and we didn't have, even back in the day, the original team, it was not the players necessarily. Like they would have you had a bunch of heart and tenacity on that team, but it wasn't somebody that was mega vocal player-wise. Tony Allen would be yelling and whatever, but it was really his play that people. It was Lionel. The same way I watched last night. You got that veteran-laden team, and that clip's going around everywhere of J.J. Redick cussing out the Lakers.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to cuss somebody out.
He cusses. He does.
Who?
Isola. He cusses. I've heard him.
Okay.
Yeah. I heard him drop an F-bomb in game one.
What does it sound like?
Do you think
it's finished, so it's, it's...
I don't know, dude.
It doesn't sound like J.J. Redick yelling it.
Look, I don't care if you win. I care if you play hard.
Yeah.
I told you I tell that to my kids all the time. It's the same way I feel about my team. If you lose because you're not good enough, okay. Don't lose because you're not putting out.
I think...
if you say if there ain't one of them that can look in the mirror and say, I gave it everything I got.
Or look at the film, bro. Like, nah.
Yeah.
You gave it everything you had?
Nah.
And if that's everything you had, then we need heart transplants. There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
That team, they can look in the mirror and say they did everything they could. The ball comes off the rim, that's a choice. You either want that ball and you're willing to go in the front row to get it, or you don't. And they're doing it. They're willing to. Look at all these hustle stats. Bro, we can't. And then at the beginning of the game,
dude,
like,
they beat us.
2 for 16 in the first
Field
quarter.
goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, offensive rebounds, steals, blocks, total rebounds, points in the paint, fast break points. I mean, they everywhere.
It started the game, and we started 0 for 9 or whatever it was. Hey, look, and they said that Isalo, I'm watching our local broadcast.
Yeah.
Said that Isalo has talked to them about playing faster.
No. Slow y'all head down.
And I'm like, you think a more possessions game favors us?
No.
We can't dribble.
We're short arming everything.
The only
Can't
time
dribble.
that thing became competitive was the third quarter, where it just became okay, we're going to use some size and Jaren's going to.
Yeah,
right?
we didn't turn it over.
It was more of taking the first shot.
It
was more of taking the first shot. We talked about this. It was more of taking the first shot, not the good shot, great shot bullcrap. It was like, if you touch it, just shoot.
I'm saying, you want to play faster? Like, bro, that's where they dwell. The team that beats them, which I think the Clippers are going to give them absolute hell in the second round, because I think the Clippers will end up beating the Nuggets. When they have to face the Clippers, watch. Watch how that game goes.
No,
You're not, bro. If you want to play them running up and down the court, you are smoked.
Here's also why
your only chance is to make them uncomfortable.
I said this to Jess and Bennett last night. Here's another reason why I think Oklahoma City, whether it's Denver or the Clippers, they're going to lose game 1 or game 2 to them, and the reason why is because they have not had to play for however long this series goes, at the intensity that is going to be required for them to play in the next series.
There's a force that comes along with, I mean, bro, the Clippers have 8 guys that would be the best defender on the Grizzlies. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
Zubac is getting Defensive Player of the Year votes, okay? And he's probably the weak link.
Is that why we can't get defensive wings? Because the Clippers and the Thunder have them all?
I think they do.
They have all of the defensive wings?
Bruh.
I mean, Chris Dunn has become like the best defender in the league.
Hey, I saw that man pop up. I said, who is this ball dude on the court right now?
Derek Jones Jr. comes off their bench.
Exactly. I would love to have him fly around. Well,
Ben Simmons comes off their bench. Like, they got guys that say whatever you want about offensively.
He can't shoot, but
again, it's going to be a different world. And I promise you this, this is like when you remember when Memphis played Tennessee back in the day, and they wanted to get up and down the court. This is the J.P. Prince game, right? This is the one game that the 08 Tigers lost, and I'm like, don't play fast against them, because that's what they do, but they do it better.
Right.
The only chance you have is to try to make them they are a lot like the best version of the Grizzlies was a few years ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're better than that. But if you wanted to, don't let us fly up and down the court.
Yeah.
That's when, but if you want to make us play, you run a play, we run a play, now that's an uncomfortable situation, right? Yeah. I don't want, young teams want to fly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they are just, the fast break points, it's ludicrous, honestly.
It may need to be.
Grizzlies, how do you get
20-something to 1?
Bro, it was one fast break bucket last night.
Yeah, two,
and they had 25 points off fast breaks.
Yeah,
Dev, you may be right about the offense thing, how it needs to be. Whatever we do, we need to put everything in, all our eggs into the first action being the best look you can possibly get.
All that
because they are
shot crap.
They are so on a string defensively that the more you start passing, they are going to tip the ball away and steal it. And
they recover so quick, bro. When you swing, they're
bro. Even Chet moves his feet everywhere. It's
the other thing is, come
defense,
on. Bro. If the only thing Edie can do is catch a lob, like you're playing 4-on-5. That's a guy you can't pass to.
Here's the other dude. The MVP of the league, who's probably going to be the MVP of the league, hasn't even played well.
No.
And they're beating the crap out of us, man.
Bro.
Right.
There's nothing SGA's done in this series for 2 games where you're like, oh man, that was awesome.
Or oh, he's been walking to the free throw line.
Look, and here's the deal, and maybe they can pull it off in game 3. If the Grizzlies can keep turnovers low and play as hard as they possibly can, you can be in game.
Get out to a lead.
But being loosey-goosey with the ball and then losing the effort battle, hopefully if they got 18,000 people going crazy tomorrow night, effort is not going to be an issue.
They would be.
Honestly, I felt like, it's like so much
harder,
of that
bro.
stuff is hustle.
The crowd, I think the crowd tomorrow night is going to, It's going to prop them up. I think it
It for
definitely
sure will.
But you cannot be down. They talked about it. Pete and Brevin were talking about it last night in the first quarter. We're down 12 after the first quarter in game one. We're down 15. He's like, you cannot get down double digits to these guys early. Like, they just...
No,
they're too good defensively.
Look, even when we cut it to like 7, they scored 10 straight or whatever it was. It's back to 17.
You spend so much energy against them trying to get the lead down to that, that then you're just gassing. It's like, and now it's like, okay, they're going to turn up a little bit, and they start the fourth quarter 9-0.
It's the rolling the boulder uphill, and then finally it just collapses.
Yeah.
Right.
And against that team, it's
I look, the thing that concerns me the most, I am aware of what the deficiencies they have. The deficient again. This is a unique place. Obviously, all fans respect the ability to give it everything you've got. But one of the things that Memphis fans do not identify with, and this is why the first iteration of playoff teams didn't always take hold, right? And then the second wave did. Right? We never talk about the Pau Gasol playoff teams that went 0-12 in the playoffs. We never talk about them. But those 11 teams, the reason that people loved them and the reason that names hang up in the rafters, they went to one Western Conference Finals. Okay? They didn't we didn't go to the NBA Finals. We didn't win a title.
Yeah.
We're going to have 4 guys with their names up in the rafters because they are that beloved by the franchise. And the reason they are so beloved is because you felt like every night they gave it everything they had. If it wasn't good enough, so be it.
Yeah.
But that is just no one can say that about this team.
Well,
Nobody.
Also, the other thing,
that's the part that pisses me off.
That's the part.
They went to one
respect.
They won playoff series. They did win playoff series.
They did.
We beat Minnesota. Competitive against Golden State.
Ja got hurt.
Ja's been hurt and.
Just keep going.
So
Lakers,
Golden State waxed us. Lakers waxed us. Oklahoma City gonna wax us.
We're getting waxed for sure.
Yeah, like that's
big Mr. What's it, Mr.
Wait,
Miyagi?
what was the Golden State waxed us?
No, Golden State did. No, that was competitive.
That's one
Golden
with
State
Ja-
was
that's the one with
competitive.
12 got hurt.
Yeah, that's the
Lakers
the
went to
code.
6.
Dude, that series was
That-
not
bro,
competitive.
I sat there and watched that game 6, bro. It got spooky.
Yeah,
and
that
game
was
3
crazy.
was bad too. We only happened to lose them by 10, but we
Dylan
were
started
down like
talking crazy,
25.
That's when they decided, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game 3 was the one where LeBron's telling Dylan before the game, "You think you're helping your team? You're not.
Poke bears.
Yeah, you're
Trust
not
me, I
helping
was
your
there.
team."
I had to see through D'Angelo Russell hit like 5 threes in a row. Never forget that day. But no, look, bro, the definition of insanity, Verno, is doing the same thing over and over again. This summer, bro, it's time to do something different. Finally.
Well,
It's time to do something different.
And
bro.
that's where my point of view on this is. It's like I'm glad they got to see what it looks like to have to play Oklahoma City.
You're not you're not nowhere near it.
Not even close.
They're running laps, bro.
You might have been close with Houston. You're not close to this.
Yeah, bro.
Right. And now, and honestly, if they would have played the Clippers, they'd have gotten
destroyed. Yeah.
Again, this is playoff basketball.
Yeah,
right. I saw somebody post the other day. It was interesting. I think it's Fran Fraschilla or somebody. Gordon Chiesa, who was a assistant here.
He
Remember
was,
him? Years and years ago.
He was under what, Ivoroni, wasn't it?
Yeah, Gordon Chiesa, who he was part of the Jerry Sloan staff for 16 years. He said the regular season's about analytics, the playoffs is about toughness.
Shit me. That's the motto, bro. It's about toughness, bro.
In the end,
how tough are you?
It's
bro?
gonna come down and just punked. Bro, wearing Memphis on your chest and not playing hard is just so.
He said, "We can see you."
Unacceptable. It truly. That's not what this. That can never be the culture of this franchise.
Never.
If anything, it's got to be
finesse. Should never be the culture.
Yeah.
We should never be.
We
finesse.
give it everything we've got, and if it's not good enough, it's not good enough. But you're gonna feel it, one way or the other. I told Gary earlier this morning. That's why I loved this version of that Memphis Tiger team. Like PJ Haggerty couldn't make any shots. Now he's going to get $4 million evidently, but
maybe from down the street.
But in the biggest game, he couldn't make shots, right? Dane Danger gave it everything he had, and Dane Danger probably needed an IV after that game. And the rest of those guys, like they weren't. It wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
But I never felt like it wasn't good enough because they didn't give it everything they had.
No, they played hard. They did.
They gave it everything they had. I liked watching that team, and we'll like watching any team that plays hard. There's nobody that with a straight face can watch that last night and say that they did not get it. I mean, and I get it. It's demoralizing. But when you start to get demoralized, that's when it's going to show. That's when it's going to show what you're made of, when you're demoralized. And so now you can't be more demoralized. You've already lost the first 2 games by 70 points. Literally 70. 70.
If you want to go
I don't care how bad you are. How have you lost 2 games by 70 points?
Go back to the playoff game before that. You lost.
Look at playoff history.
Yeah,
it's unheard of. Yeah. The biggest I think I saw last night. The biggest margin ever in a series is like 91. Well, that is in play.
We're on track for sure. So we lost that game 6 against the Lakers 9-1. We lost that one by 30. So add 30 more to that.
And that felt 100 times. I mean, that one felt horrendous.
Oh boy.
That felt like we lost by 70.
It did.
I'm surprised that the final outcome was only 30.
Yeah, We've lost to them by 24 points per game this year. I will say there is one positive. Look, we want to look for positives.
40.
Last night is the first time all season we've held them to under 120. First time all season.
I thought it was funny that Brevin got mad about Santi Aldama's putback offensive goaltend that kept us under 100.
He did. He did. He did. He was like,
he's like, oh, they're hearing the whistle now.
He also goes, you're going to call that one on that end, but you didn't call the other one on the other end.
I was knee deep in my margarita.
Hey, 101 does look better on the box score than 99.
I'm like, Brev, there's 14 seconds left, man.
Plus, you for sure did not want Santi to get another bucket.
Nah, you were hating for sure. My boy, big traffic cone out there.
Man, when Isaiah Joe chased down that rebound in the at the end of the first half.
Oh, my God.
Between Santi and I think it was Pippen Jr., tipped the ball, ran after it, tipped the ball, ran and got it, and then just walked himself right into a 3 with nobody on him. I'm like, all right.
The one I might have gone the craziest on was when Zach Edey grabbed the rebound and Isaiah Hartenstein just said, give me that bitch.
Oh, my gosh. Like, when he just grabbed,
I'm like, are you serious?
The 3 offensive rebound.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
The 3 offensive rebound possession, the one that pissed me off the most.
Because we're standing.
They missed the shot, got the rebound. They missed the shot again. The ball curved to like the half court. They got it again. I'm like,
you're like, hey, you know you're allowed to move.
You can move. Turn the controller on, bro.
Dude, no,
the controller's died.
It looked like the freaking playing freeze tag.
Just standing there.
Like Grizzlies would be amazing at defensive freeze tag.
Like, what are y'all doing? Move.
Run, jump.
The ball's moving, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully 18,000 people show up tomorrow night. Make sure you're there at the arena, and that it's just so much. It's so much adrenaline, it's so much juice that it's like we see a version of them that we have just not seen in a while.
Look, it is what it is. We're here. Show up. Cheer loud.
Is it Kush Sarah Sarah? Is that what they say?
Huh?
What does they say? Is it Kush Sarah Sarah? What is their phrase?
K Sarah Sarah.
K Sarah Sarah.
What did he just say?
I don't even know what that phrase means. That y'all are, I have no idea what y'all are talking about. But
it is what it is.
Oh. Okay.
Wow.
Say it again.
K Sarah Sarah.
K Sarah Sarah.
Just say it is what it is. It seems
way
easier to do.
Way cooler when you said that way.
K Sarah Sarah.
I don't know what you said.
What I say?
I don't know why. I don't know what it was either.
I thought you said game 2 Ja.
Yeah.
I did
average 39 points a game.
Hey, bro.
His body language is horrendous.
My guy was turning the corner.
Horrendous.
Dude, there was one time he was in the corner.
I hope Ja watches that game back and sees.
When he threw that off the side of the backboard,
At some point, it just says
the up and the under one. I'm like, bro, do you care?
Dude,
where are you shooting?
There's one time he stood in the corner last night, and he like watched Scotty and somebody else do something, and he just sat there in the corner with their hands on his knees and was like, shaking his head. Like, it's at some point that's just what he is.
And
though.
I know
he does that.
Hey, how much did you love Kennard driving, getting stuck under the basket, turning around and throwing it to Caruso? Dude, that you don't have any other white guys on your team. So if nothing else,
they also,
even if you got the jerseys confused,
they also
white and bald. Did you think you were throwing it to Conchar?
Yeah, he thought Conchar went to the ball.
Just threw it right to him.
There was also one, Bennett and I, dude, Kennard was in the corner late in the game, and they freaking swung it out to him. Boom! Catches it. We're like, shoot it! Dribble pass. And we're like, oh.
Here we go.
Is this it? Wait, why do
Which
y'all
one
have
is
this
this?
on, why
Which
do y'all
one is
have
this
this on
one?
cue?
These are all the turnovers.
Thanks, Jalen.
Well, look, I mean, it's kind of the packages. We only had 15 turnovers last night, which isn't bad against them.
It's
But
because
Dude,
it's
those
we were
tapping
shooting-
the
Yes.
ball from behind is so like junior high.
That's the Roser
But
move.
they had,
bro.
no,
you said that's the Roser move?
yeah,
Is that
Roser's a
behind?
that was
magician.
not right there. He just ripped him. They had 25 points off turnovers.
Oh, they cash in, bro.
They
If you
averaged.
turn them over-
They averaged 24 points off turnovers against us.
Look, there's one person. Oh, at least there's
But we're
try,
lucky
bro.
if we score 20.
Just let him make the
points in a
layup
quarter.
and gave him an and one.
Tackle him, Dez.
Yeah, dude, they averaged 24 points a game off turnovers against us. There were 2 quarters last night. We didn't even score 24.
Look at them
They've
flying
scored
around.
this possession?
They're flying around on the ground too.
This is a, oh, okay.
Oh.
Is this the one?
Oh,
This is the one I got mad at. I said, what is happening right now?
Yeah, what?
Just caught his own air ball.
I said, what is happening right now?
And a travel. Yeah.
All right, no,
Good
I can't.
shit.
Yeah,
Turn this
turn this shit off. Jalen, turn this off, bro. Don't laugh, Roser. This is not funny. Turn this off, Jalen. Turn
Look,
this
we
off,
have
bro.
to laugh.
dude.
Oh,
Dev,
no,
we laughed in the Warriors game when Vince Williams drove on 3 guys
that was hilarious.
and did the drop off right to freaking like Quentin Post or something. We were like, what?
Where are you going,
Where
dog?
are you going?
The only thing we care about is that they play hard as hell.
Yeah, just play hard.
Play hard as hell tomorrow
And
night.
fans show up. Show up. We're going to be there. It's going to.
The playoff environments are unbelievable.
I'm laying out grout towels this afternoon. Let's go.
Wait, you are?
really?
Yeah, I'm helping.
You staying?
Wow.
I'm staying and I'm helping lay out grout towels.
He's doing that so he can take a couple home.
I know, right?
No, I've already got some.
He's nasty.
I've already got some.
What did they
Give it-
say?
I don't know. We're not doing it until this afternoon. I
You
haven't
just
seen
said
them.
you have some.
No, I have one from the last game.
No, we're
from the
letting him out
play-in.
today. You should stay too, bro.
Does it say for the M?
No, it's probably something different.
Hashtag win for the M.
I've got carpool. Get some kids.
Pick up some kids.
Yeah.
Keep battling.
Huh?
I like
Hashtag
it.
win for
Oh
the
yeah,
M.
keep battling.
Hashtag win for the M.
What'd you text us yesterday, bro?
That's what our no. That's what our social.
I said we have to just. It's only one quarter. We have to keep battling.
Yeah. Back home.
Yeah.
Headed back to the crib.
Stop, bro.
Hashtag win for the M.
Why y'all saying it in this weird voices, bro?
Because that's how I read our social
Yeah,
media.
That's how I read it too, to be honest with you. You gotta do it in another voice. You gotta do it in the customer service voice.
Keep battling. Or what's the what is it what I kept
Can we at least do
together
like,
as
there we
one?
go.
Hey, together as one.
Together as one. We won this one as one.
Yeah.
Wait, actually, let me go read some of these caps.
They just hung that up.
It did.
That's outside.
You know what we could do?
For the M.
Nobody expects we could win tomorrow night. You know what?
Wait, what did
Hashtag-
you become somebody that thinks we
Nobody
can win
believes
tomorrow
in
night?
us.
Rock the boat.
No.
Let's rock the
Are you a
boat.
Leah?
What does that mean?
I don't know. He was saying it earlier. Rock the boat.
He thinks he's a Leah.
You said that?
He thinks he's
you
a
said
Leah.
rock the boat?
Rock the boat.
He stole that from you?
He stole it from me.
Yeah,
What?
rock
I said
the
nobody
boat.
rocks the boat anymore.
Yeah. You rock the boat.
Now you a Leah now.
Okay.
Shout out
Scott
Leah, man.
Farrell,
Rest in
shake
peace.
it up.
All right, real quickly, I just want to mention that the Wolves didn't look nearly as good in game 2. Boy, the Lakers made those adjustments. And
Jaden
that's going to be a
McDaniels
fun series.
It's not gonna beat us.
That's
We
going to
go
be a
better.
really fun series. Well, the big thing was I didn't look at the box score. I don't think Ant had an assist. You remember how I told you he had 9 assists in that first game?
He didn't have
He had
one.
0?
Yeah, he got 0 last night.
They had 0
Boy,
assists.
was that a change.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just making everything happen in that first game, and they were, they'd run that double at him. He'd pass out of it, make the right pass every time. So
first quarter they killed him, and the rest of the game was. Yeah, they
did
They
help
won
that
the
they-
game in the first quarter. The rest of the game was pretty dead.
he didn't even
even.
shoot in the first quarter.
They got 4 of them things on Nas real quick too, though.
Yeah.
The referee's like, yo,
You don't get to play tonight?
don't get to play tonight,
I think
dog.
Dante too.
yeah, like, we finna correct this tonight, boy.
Yeah. Anyways, and then the Pacers Bucks thing. I hope this gets so heated between Halliburton and Lillard. They were up in each other's face last night, and I was like, oh, this is great. So that makes it actually look for a series that is now 2-0. It at least makes it a lot more fun going back to Milwaukee. I'm now much more interested in that because he really hates him.
Yeah.
Lillard really, you can tell he hates his guy.
I think he thinks it's fake though. That's why he hates him so much. By the
Yeah.
way, the streets are saying they should take our games off of national TV and put their games on national TV.
No, do you know when you listen to
I
some of
agree
these
with that.
national podcasts, dude, it's embarrassing when they're like, okay, like Can this series? Literally, what they all say is, "Can we get this over
you're
with?"
wasting our time.
Yes, that's what they think. You're wasting our time.
My boy Jet T said that on Club 520.
We're not competitive.
Yeah, it's like this is a total waste of time. Let's talk about I think it was
Not even
was it the Hoop Collective guys saying
not even the Magic got beat like that by the Celtics.
The Hoop Collective guys are like, okay, let's talk about the real playoff games now.
Damn
it's
dog.
like, damn
dog.
Like,
damn dog.
It's like that, bro.
So let's have tomorrow night, make it a real playoff game.
For the M.
Win for the M.
For the M. Memphis.
What is wrong with y'all? Wait, you go from like pooping on everything to talking about Memphis.
He's trying to
I can still want the team to win and play well.
You
dude.
already Odell on our team enough.
No, that's what it's called. That's what's called being a fan.
Yeah, dude.
That's what's called being a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a fan too, bro.
No, you
I'm not a fan.
You're delusional.
I'm not delusional.
Yes, you are.
No, I ride with my people, bro.
No, that's
and they're your friends
that's
too.
Different.
They're my friends in real life.
Yeah, that's different.
That's different. Yeah,
that's different.
What do you mean?
No, riding with my people can still be delusional.
Yeah. Exactly.
It can lead you into delusion.
That's fine. I root for my people to succeed.
Yes.
I want my people to succeed.
We want them to succeed as well.
Like some of us don't have to look these people in the face so they get to pop off and say anything.
Who?
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say names.
Who?
Nobody. Go Grizz. Grizz in 6.
Who's he talking about?
I don't know.
Oh.
Us?
Grizz in 6 years. It's okay, guys. Can we go to break? I need a water.
Jalen's the one that told you delusional, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. My dog did text me a long paragraph about trading somebody, and I was like, Jalen, I love you, bro, but we can't do that today, bro.
We'll be back.
I've gotten so many of
Chris
them.
Vernon Show.
New issue of Slam, the cover dropped, and it is our friend Jaren Jackson Jr. on the cover.
And shout out to you, Lane.
Yeah.
You kept. Well, I mean, we knew about it, but you kept this a secret the whole time.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for
I
putting
wrote
this
this story.
together.
We did the photo shoot a couple weeks ago here on a Sunday afternoon in the practice court. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
I see people who look like me and were born probably in the same decade as me, watching all of these young people jump into the transfer portal and saying, it's ridiculous. You got to stop thinking about this like it's a normal college experience. It is not. You know what the priority is? Maximize your earning potential for every year of eligibility you have left. That's what this is about now. These are jobs.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzlies stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
There's nothing like playoff basketball. Boy, nothing like playoff basketball in Memphis.
The atmosphere of a Grizzlies playoff game is super exciting.
Oh my God, it's absolutely electric. I love seeing the crowd out.
Everybody's just screaming their heads off. You feel like you're in a movie.
People are down here. Everyone's got on their Grizz gear.
The city's excited. Everybody's excited to watch. There's really nothing like it, and I really can't wait.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Yesterday was the talk of the town. It was a cow on the side of the road.
Do you live close to a movie theater? I'm just curious because maybe the cow was trying to go to the movies.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans. Want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Welcome back to the Chris Vernon Show on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, back to your host, Chris Vernon.
Outside with the G's and the homies, OG fresh out ducking the police. White t-shirt, locs on, riding dirt. Trick, don't talk to me when I'm counting up money. Yeah, west side, east side, it's active. I just stepped in the party, what's cracking? I just seen the enemies, but they lack. Yeah, we really with the business. They don't want no action.
All right, we're back. Chris Vernon Show. All right, so the NFL draft is going to be going on tomorrow night from Milwaukee. They're doing it in Green Bay tomorrow night. And so with the NFL draft on the way, Jessica Benson from the Jessica Benson Show joins us every Wednesday. We're going to talk a little NFL draft with her. You can watch the Jessica Benson Show every morning starting at 8 o'clock on YouTube, grindcitymedia.com, and all other channels. Oh, do I have a surprise for you?
I'm so excited. I love a surprise.
Yeah, I know. And I've held this back. I did not even tell these guys.
What you got?
And I don't, because I'm telling you now, because I don't know if it'll happen, but if it happens, then we have to go get a picture. So tomorrow night, there's a Grizzlies playoff game at FedEx Forum. And you will never believe who I was asked to help get tickets. I figured he's buying them to come to tomorrow night's game.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Somebody that would be exciting for the purposes of having Jessica Benson in here.
Me.
Matt Leinart.
Caleb Williams.
Reggie Bush.
Better.
Reggie Bush.
Better?
Matt Barkley.
Reggie Bush.
Ryan Coogler, director of Sinners. And USC grad.
Anne Hathaway.
No.
Who else is Jessica
This would be more exciting for Jessica.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh.
No. Come on. We're not going there.
Yeah, whoa. Yeah.
Exciting.
I got a text, and it was like, hey, so-and-so wants to go to the game. Can you help me get in contact with somebody? And I said, absolutely.
Chapel Roan.
And if he shows up,
it's a he.
We're going to go down there and we're getting the picture. Oh, yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
No.
Usher.
Better.
Paul Mescal.
Better than Usher?
Diego Pavia.
Oh, that's
This moment has been in the making for years.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
How do we find out? Does he still want to come?
Look.
Has he watched the first 2 games?
Team Tennessee. That's a real one right there.
Yeah.
Diego Pavia
Look.
from one side of the state to the other.
Look at the top. Look at the top text.
Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt quarterback.
Incredible.
You're probably taller than him.
Diego Pavia.
I would not need to stand on a stool.
Nah, you don't need to.
So this is a crazy thing.
This is incredible.
This is a crazy thing. Years ago, for many, many, many years, and this will speak to how long we've been around and how much football has changed. Signing Day used to be a huge show for us every year. National Signing Day. I was friends with, one of my longtime friends was a guy named Barton Simmons, and Barton was the head of recruiting. He was the national recruiting director for 24/7 Sports. Yeah. And was great at it. And so if we would sign, like I remember, like we would get sign Brady White. And Brady White, he could come on and he could tell you literally everything about Brady White, right? And who they had just recruited or whatever. And so we would, every year, Barton would come on for National Signing Day on the show to do this. He now helps run the Vanderbilt football program. So that's who texted me. Barton was like, yo, Diego Pavia wants to go to the Grizzlies. So if I find out that Diego Pavia is there tomorrow night, we're going down there and we're getting a picture with Diego Pavia. Diego Pavia. I think he's still there.
Yeah.
He's got another year.
He's the one that changed college football, right?
He's
with
rolling
that
it back.
JUCO year, yeah.
Diego Pavia.
Shout out Diego Pavia.
Rolling it back. The last time I was sitting in this building when the Grizzlies beat the Mavs, Mary J. Blige was sitting behind me. And I was too nervous to do anything except for fangirl from my seat.
Oh, that's awesome.
But with Diego Pavia, feels a little more approachable in this situation. Oh, incredible.
Hilarious. So
things to look forward to.
If he's there tomorrow night, we got to go holler at him for sure. Diego Pavia. I was like, oh, Jessica's going to go crazy.
I also love the list of people that we went through to get to Diego Pavia.
I told you it was better than Timberlake.
I think she was from
just below Michael B. Jordan.
What do we got for NFL draft? What do we need to look forward to?
Well, the number one story going into tomorrow's NFL draft is not who's taking or who the Tennessee Titans are taking with the number one pick. That feels all but determined. It is Cam Ward. All signs, all lightning strikes, all anything make it seem that the Titans will take Cam Ward. They love Cam Ward. Bennett Doyle is amped for Cam Ward. He's been listening to interviews all week and falling in love with him. So then the question is the next quarterback off the board. And
Me and Dev both have. In fact, I may need to wear it tomorrow. Washington State Cam Ward jersey.
And that's a big moment for this show, too.
Yeah.
I was having you guys watch random Washington State games saying you need to follow this kid Cam Ward. And look at us now. Number one pick in the 2025 NFL draft. Yeah. The next quarterback off the board should be Shedeur Sanders. And now the question is, where does Shedeur Sanders go? Because you have 5 teams, picks 2 through 10, who need a franchise quarterback, and yet suddenly we are being told Shedeur Sanders could fall all the way to the Pittsburgh Steelers with the 21st pick, or
also a lot of Jackson Dart love.
All of a sudden, listen. We're getting to the part where
Did they watch the Florida
game?
game?
Shedeur Sanders feels so manufactured in the weirdest of ways. It just does not sit right. And the latest from Tom Pelissero, did you see this? The anonymous NFL assistant coach.
Assistant coach, I saw that.
This is the quote on Shedeur
him,
Sanders.
bro.
Quote, the worst formal interview I've ever been in my life. He's so entitled. He takes unnecessary sacks. He never plays on time. He has horrible body language. He blames teammates. But the biggest thing is he's not that good. And I'm here to say, if you were going to put a quote out like that the day before the draft, put your name on it.
I agree.
Put your damn name on it. Because if you're going to put something out there that stinky, I want to know who you are, what your personal interactions were. Who's to say Shedeur Sanders didn't smoke out that this guy was kind of a snake or a bad person?
This is what
I think it's so weird.
Yeah,
I hate anonymous quotes.
You remember this? This started about 3 or 4 weeks ago. We started to get some of this, and I told you guys this was post interviews, like after the interview, the combine and the interviews and whatever. And I said, this sounds very, 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 very LaMelo-esque. If you remember when LaMelo, after they did the combine, they did the interviews, whatever, he started getting like smashed by these. Yeah. And much like LaMelo, I would guarantee you Shedeur Sanders absolutely tanked some of these interviews.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
With the expectation of, I do not want, this is how I can make sure that you're not going to draft me, is I'm going to be so I don't doubt that somebody walked out of a interview with him and thought, my God, what an incredible prick. I also think he is a smart kid, and so he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
So that they for sure would go back to their war room and be like, we
nah,
we ain't taking him. Guys tank interviews all the time. It happens. Guys truly do. And LaMelo did it a bunch, to the point where word started getting around. Like, people were telling me all the time in NBA circles, they're like, dude, he's the worst, whatever. He's for sure not the worst. He's also bright kid, right? Yeah. So if I start hearing that your interviews are terrible, but I've seen you be interviewed a bunch and you're that charismatic, like, dude, you want somebody to think that you're, you know what I mean? Because he's too sharp. Yeah. You've seen him. It's not like this, like we don't know him, right? Like, you know, I see that thing about the Tennessee kid. Like, he might be awful, right? James, what's his name?
Pierce.
Yeah,
Pierce.
Just. They say, like, oh, my God, the Tennessee people, you know, trashed him, and he's got all these character red flags. I don't know anything about him. I don't know. But we all know Shedeur Sanders. Like, we've seen him be interviewed a bunch. We've seen him, right, like, in interview settings. And so the idea that he would come off poorly, I think he's the kind of guy that could fake it. You know how Jameis can fake it? See how?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, all right.
I don't want to be.
If I want, I think Shedeur Sanders is one of those guys that if he wants you to like him, you're gonna love him, and if he wants you to dislike him, you're gonna hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
I
fair.
think that's true.
We
and
know
but I think that's where that comes from. That's what I'd guess.
We can all agree. Like, James Pierce is 100% going to the Eagles, right?
So,
like that. It's like
or the Ravens.
He's gonna be amazing,
and it's gonna be at some point this year. It's
excellent.
like, this is the most obvious thing. This is the most obvious thing ever.
Yes, it's so annoying.
The talent is there.
Yes,
they're like, oh, red flag. All right, he's gonna be all pro.
It happened at Terrell Suggs. You remember years ago at whatever
with the Ravens.
Yeah. With the Ravens.
But it is one of those things where, because this year's quarterback group is not seen to be exceptional, and we're even having these conversations, like how on earth the Browns and the Giants could both pass on Shedeur. But because of that, we haven't had a lot of pre-draft like movement or reported movement. Right. And we have never in this draft era ever seen every team use its like as prescribed first round pick. So the pick that you're supposed to have going into it, the pick everyone is supposed to have ends up being its pick. We've never seen that before. So you're almost guaranteed to have some movement. It'll just be really curious to see, is Shedeur Sanders a part of that? Does somebody trade up, take advantage, or do one of these teams just take him too? Or does he really fall to 21? And next thing you know, we have a Steelers quarterback room. Can you imagine if Aaron Rodgers ends up in Pittsburgh and you have a Steelers quarterback room of Aaron Rodgers and Shedeur Sanders? That will lead SportsCenter every day for the rest of our lives. It will be the most miserable existence.
Dude.
Like from a talking talk standpoint.
What if he's what if he's in New York?
That's fine. It feels destined. He's a big name.
But if he gets to Pittsburgh, though, you got DK, you got Pickens, you got Calvin.
I think they
the
trade
other
Pickens.
thing that, and I talked to you guys
I don't see
about
a long life for Pickens in Pittsburgh.
when I read that article last week, I thought the Schefter thing, the whole Steelers thing was super interesting, because it was like some of these teams, you know, there is that concern of like, hey, is your coach going to go out on the limb to try to get Shedeur drafted, knowing that if things go wrong, he's always played for his dad. And so if you've invested big time and his dad's buyout, like the fact that Schefter was like putting his buyout numbers in that article, I was like, at Colorado, I was like, oh boy. So I do get that. But the whole point was Tomlin's a guy that like wouldn't have to, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't, they're not blowing out Mike Tomlin because Shedeur Sanders isn't working out. They would stand by the coach rather than the player.
That's a good point.
Right? And so that might actually be the best possible situation for the kid.
Please go to the Steelers. That'd be dope.
You'd be there with Calvin too.
That's what I'm saying, bro. They have weapons, bro. Shout out to them.
I do bet more than likely we'll see Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter go
2 and 3.
Yep. That seems to be the case. So that leads us to number 2, which I always find the skill players, the sexy skill players
so
on
much
draft
more
night,
fun.
we just get so excited. It just means a little bit more. And the big one to look after is like who takes Ashton Jeanty. There's all of a sudden all this buzz with Jacksonville. And
I heard the Raiders yesterday when I was listening to a podcast.
If he gets up to 5th, though, I mean, either or. Like, he becomes the earliest running back taken since Saquon went.
What are the Raiders, 6?
The Raiders are 6.
So they're saying that Pete Carroll, right? Pete Carroll, and they've got their guys.
Oh, he's such a Pete Carroll guy. That
right.
Players Tribune, did you read that? Where he's essentially like, it's called tackle football. I'd draft the guy that can't tackle. I'm like, oh, you were born to play for Pete Carroll. Like, you moved together.
Hell yeah.
I would love to see him there. But it's exciting to see Ashton Jeanty to go from Boise State and the whole Heisman campaign and runner-up.
Well, I think it also speaks to how much the NFL has changed in the view of this, because it was just, hey, we'll take the running back late and whatever. But when they see the Lions be awesome with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and they see the Eagles be awesome with Saquon Barkley, and that has come back around. It's come back around to where it's like, okay, like, these things do ebb and flow, and it was like, used to be you would want those receivers. Those were the real value, and then you could just find anybody to play running back. But the superstar running back feels like something that people really want now, right?
Yeah. And it does feel like in this draft, it's kind of just take the player you want where you can get them. So if that's the person you're targeting. The same goes, a lot of buzz for Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end. A lot of buzz with the Jets. Yeah. At this point, the Michigan tight end, Colston Loveland. I'm interested where our guy Tatario McMillan ends up.
What have you? Because
do the Cowboys take him?
We were talking about this yesterday. Like the stories that he don't watch film. Yeah. He hates watching film. Like, bro, you can't do that.
He's a vibes guy.
They were also saying that he's like
vibes guy.
Well, they're saying he's a lot like Mike Evans, and so the pod I was listening to was saying that Liam Cohen is just had Mike Evans in Tampa Bay, and he's now in Jacksonville, and so he might. And again, receiver. They just keep trying to do things to make Trevor Lawrence be something that he has not been so far.
Yeah.
And you do wonder if it's like, hey, bro, it's like, here's the root problem.
Yeah.
Like, because I was always Trevor Lawrence is going to be awesome too, but it's like, how many times are you going to? Right. Like, I remember, years ago, I told you about that Steve Mariucci thing. It was like, you remember every year the Lions kept drafting wide receivers. It became like a joke, right? Yeah. It became a joke. Well, he's like, he never realized the problem was Joey Harrington. Yeah. It wasn't that he didn't have receivers, right? And so that's the whole Lawrence thing. It's like, are they going to get him Ashton Jeanty, or are they going to get him, this guy? Are they going to get him this guy? And so, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see with this new offensive coordinator.
The Trevor Lawrence thing just remains fascinating, and a lot of people are finally starting to have to move off of him. But for the longest time,
I thought he was going to be awesome.
Your favorite NFL analyst's favorite quarterback
for
was
sure
always Trevor Lawrence. It was like, this is even more so because Justin Herbert.
Herbert's up there too.
He's up there, but Trevor Lawrence exceeded that. And like, if you're big in the fantasy football world, like all of the big time fantasy football analysts every year, it's like, this is gonna. If you are in a dynasty league, like you want to hold on to Trevor Lawrence, and now you're getting to the point where you're like, well, maybe it just never happened. Maybe the math never mathed, and he never reaches the potential that the analytics have said that he will. It's always interesting to see, like, is there someone who sneaks into the first round when it comes to these kind of players? Last year it was like Xavier Legette and Ricky Purcell were the two receivers. A lot of just interest. Luther Burden has ended up in a lot of top 10 rankings, even though he's not being seen in any first-round mock drafts. And then you also have like the running backs from Ohio State, Henderson and Quinshon Judkins. Also, Iowa's Caleb Johnson ends up in those, and Cam Scatterbo ends up in that. Like, could somebody make a reach for him? Those guys are all likely to be second.
I need him to be a Cowboy, bro. I need him to be a Cowboy. He had that big game in Jerry World.
Yeah, I don't need him to be a Cowboy, bro.
I need him to be a Cowboy. Scatterboo. I've got a Arizona State Scatterboo T-shirt jersey.
You do?
What? Yeah.
He's got to be a Niner.
No.
He's a Niners fan. He's got to be a Niner.
No.
He's a Niners fan.
You've already got a white running back.
Isn't it funny what we all
By the way, says fully healthy, no restrictions.
No restrictions.
Christian McCaffrey.
Then you don't need Scatterboo.
Yeah, you mentioned Cordell already, bro.
No, because that'll last like 2 weeks with McCaffrey. We do need another one.
You just become convinced at what you really want. Like, all my Broncos insiders are all obsessed with Omari and Hampton, which is a strong-ass name.
Oh, yeah.
But the running back out of UNC.
Omari on Hampton
the Broncos
is
will take him
awesome
at
name.
20, or one of those guys that like they really want enough. And I've been watching just endless tape on Omari and Hampton. And I'm like, can pick.
Hey,
this.
Dev,
This can
he's
work.
awesome on that game too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had a guy run for 280 yards against me with Omarion Hampton. Yeah, he smoked my ass.
I might have to give it all.
Yeah, Omarion Hampton is dope.
Shout out Omarion Hampton, man.
All right, teams that can improve the most on draft night. When I say that, does one come to mind for you?
Let me look at the.
Who has the picks?
Yep.
Do you have one, Roser?
Does y'all's team improve the quickest? I mean, it's got to be the.
My choice. And this is
hold
putting
on.
a lot of trust in a front office that does not deserve so. I'm really intrigued by the Chicago Bears, and obviously I'm still rooting for Caleb.
I'm gonna say
put the pieces around him. They have the 10th pick.
Yeah.
39th and 41st.
So I'm gonna say the Patriots.
That's my other one.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Patriots because they now have Mike Vrabel there, right? It's a different deal. And they've got the fourth pick of the first round, the sixth pick of the second round, the fifth pick of the third round, and the 13th pick of the third round.
For the top 77.
Yeah, four of the top 77. And then they've got the fourth pick in the fourth round and the sixth pick in the fifth round. I mean, so like you've got a real chance to improve your team dramatically. If you just, good grief. How many did you say? 4 in the top what?
77.
4 in the top 77. So if you just hit 3 out of 4.
Yep.
And if you just hit 2 out of the 4, but they're awesome. Like, I think that's I think I'd say the Patriots.
I will say the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I was gonna go Browns.
Because they have that second pick, and it seems like you can't go wrong with either Hunter or Abdul Carter. They say the 3 sure things are Carter, Hunter, and Jeanty are like the 3 sure things. So Carter or Hunter, either way, you put Carter next to freaking opposite Myles Garrett, and that's insane. You get Hunter. Look, they signed Flacco. You are not he is by far going to be better than what Jameis and what Deshaun Watson gave you last year. So you're going to improve right there. They have 5 picks in the top 104.
Yeah, you get like Travis Hunter.
Here's the other thing. Here's the other thing I will say about and you're right about. Look, adding Travis Hunter could change your franchise.
Yes.
Okay. The only thing I'll say on the Patriots front is it's very, very possible that thing goes Cam Ward, Hunter, Carter.
Yeah.
And you get the mother load for 4.
Yeah.
You just decide, you know what? We would rather get 3 more picks, right? 2 more this year and another one next year. And next thing you know, you're doing a rebuild and you're building out around, Drake May and that crew. And it's like, bro, you just ended up with because somebody is dying.
The Bears who have a lot of picks. The Bears we're going to offer you this for number 4.
And the Bears are just trying to get somebody's just trying to get to 4 to get the guy that they really want because there's 3 that are. Right, you're at 4. You're sitting there hoping one of those 3 drop
because the Bears just had Jeanty in, and it's if they want Jeanty to help out Caleb Williams, it's like the Jacksonville rumors, the Raiders rumors. You have to get up to 4 if you for sure want to grab him,
and they've already got a bunch of other picks already. So I mean, Patriots could just
let's go.
And then Vrabel just builds the team in his likeness.
Yes.
You know the kind of team.
There's no disconnect between already having players there. They all become Vrabel guys.
Right.
And you go about this, and next thing we know, we're staring at a Patriots team that feels like the Patriots of old.
That's right.
Yeah. Those are the ones for me, too.
Yeah,
and then
Browns is mine because Travis Hunter, too.
Yeah. I mean, wherever Travis Hunter goes.
Yeah.
It just feels like a flipper. Last but not least, and then I have a bonus at the end. But who gets traded? Do we see a trade of a familiar name on draft night? You have a really heavy tight end and running back class.
So there is a guy, I think it's WEI in Boston, or the other sports station in Boston. One of their Patriots analysts or whatever went on and said, watch A.J. Brown and the Patriots.
Oh, really?
To give Drake May a receiver. Vrabel had A.J. Brown in Nashville and was pissed when they traded A.J. Brown.
And he got his car. He just got his car stolen too. So why not?
So he's looking.
And A.J. Brown is obvious. It just look, who knows? But
interesting.
That was something to
Also, he was just found
the
an Instagram video holding up an old Julian Edelman jersey.
So, and the salary stuff starts to add in. The salary stuff that all these Eagles guys are going to make.
The big one is Mark Andrews.
I think I'd say Cousins.
Cousins.
But
they've said they're not just going to move off of him for the sake of it.
Yeah, because if you're not doing, you're right.
Yes.
If you're doing it, You're probably doing it at draft time.
Right.
Yes.
Right?
Otherwise, you're sitting there paying
Yes.
Kirk Cousins all that money for him to sit behind Michael Penix next year.
Yeah, I think I'd
And
say
they're not
that.
going to do it as a gift to Kirk. Like,
No.
here, we want, but if the money's right.
And
you
they're
make
saying
it
the
a part of
Browns
deal,
for
yeah.
him?
Yeah, that's in the
Yeah.
Browns. That's the one I've been reading
Yeah.
about. That was the Browns for Kirk.
The other one, that's where you go back to like the idea of if Jacksonville were to take Ashton Jeanty, Travis Etienne is someone that could be looked to be moved on draft night.
Minnesota too for him.
And with the other one that I find really interesting with the Bengals.
That's my bad. Least likely scenario.
Oh yeah, no, he's never going
Yeah,
back.
no
Steelers,
way.
my bad.
He's
Steelers,
like, we are
Browns-
never going back.
Steelers, Browns, and possibly Vikings could be traded. Minnesota's least likely because of J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, I would say Browns.
This is one of those that's like highly, highly unlikely. But for a team like the Bengals, who had to make the decision and they go all in on Chase and Higgins, like what does that mean for Trey Hendrickson? Like, could you get a first-round pick for Trey Hendrickson and among many other things? But is that something that you have to jump on based on how you've now constructed your roster and all the salary that went into those two guys? So it's exciting. I always think that I'm not excited for draft night, and then it pops in, and I'm like, let's go.
I love it.
I'm ready.
Shout out draft
I think
night,
I've just
man.
been a little bit drowning in our other important things
I
instead.
I would love to just focus on the NFL draft.
But
at
last
this
but not
point.
least, if you need something, if you're looking on, let's say next week, we'll go down the pipeline. We won't say when this is going to come to an end, but at some point. My fifth story of the day, because sometimes we do pop culture in this segment.
Yep.
And I heard you guys talking about this Monday, and I just need to voice my opinion. You all have to go see Sinners as soon as possible, and you have to see it in theaters. And go at a time when there's going to be a lot of people there. It is such a fun movie to see in theaters with others, and it's like the cinematic experience of the year.
Are people like reacting like, oh, it's like that kind of vibe? Okay,
claps,
that's lit.
Do you think
cheers?
Claps and cheers?
Yeah.
Do you think it's fine if I take my son?
How old is he?
15.
Lessons could be learned.
No, is it?
I mean,
bloody.
A lot of blood, but
A
it's
lot
like
of-
vampires. I thought the
Sex?
violence part of it is pretty like campy. The sex part of it, there's no nudity, but like it's a sexy movie.
Okay.
Like, does that make sense?
Like sexy women, like in like, you know what I'm saying, moving sexy. And
I
stuff
mean, like
that.
sexy things. Like you don't see a whole lot.
Like,
but like
what
it's
are
what
some
you don't
sexy
see.
things? What are
Dude,
Like how things are
you
described.
sound real perverted right
What are you
now.
talking about?
No, you do. You
trying
say
to call
you
me
got.
Shannon Sharp,
It's
bro?
just a way. It's
You
a
trying
way.
to call me Shannon
It's a
Sharp?
way you
It's one of
change
those
your
things where I
tone.
Oh, I did change my tone.
You're like how sexy
I almost
he
think
is.
it would go over a
That was
kid's
wild.
head.
My bad. I'm on my Shannon Sharp flow.
Oh, kind of sexy. No, I
what
think
kind
like
of
some of the
sexy?
things would go over a kid's head. Like Gary asked if he could take his kids, and my first thing was like, sure. But then I realized this is why I'm
No.
not a parent. Absolutely not. His
Okay.
kids are too young. But 15, I think, is right
Maybe.
in the mix where, yeah, and it's such a good movie.
Yeah, so
It's so well made.
Like I told them on Monday, I have not. It's gotten. I saw more people talk about that movie than any movie in. I'd say since the Oppenheimer and
Yeah.
Barbie thing. Barbie and Oppenheimer, it felt like that was like a big cultural
But my
thing.
thing with those two
But
is
Get
that
Out
the hype was
also-
before. So that's Get Out, the hype comes after.
That's right.
The hype for Barbie and Oppenheimer and also Wicked this past year, like all of that's pre. Like
Yep.
there are popcorn buckets being made to promote
That's
these movies.
right.
There are Target shelves dedicated to those movies. This movie, it came out and all of a sudden I was like, we have to see it opening weekend or else it's going to get spoiled. And I want to be able to be a part of the conversation. And
Yeah.
I have not had one of those happen in
It's a long time.
Years
No.
and years.
And but the
It's-
other thing
I
is
gotta tap
people
in.
saying you've got to go see it at IMAX.
That's what everybody. Yeah,
Yes.
everybody said you got to go to the IMAX joint. You
I
can't watch it
regret
in
not.
regular.
I saw it in Dolby because
Mm.
we were just looking for a Paradiso
Yeah.
8 o'clock Friday night situation, and it was the only one, and it was like sold out, so you have to get your tickets
Yeah.
ahead of time. But I've heard seeing it on IMAX is even better. I would go back and see it again.
Wow.
Genuinely,
I'm gonna have
but
to tap
because
in.
there's so much
I'm gonna go see it this
symbolism.
weekend.
Like it's the kind of movie that one you can enjoy at face value because it's just entertaining
Yep.
as hell. But then you could also spend like an entire week listening to podcasts or reading
Yeah, I need to
Reddit
do
threads
it.
and articles and everything
this
about it.
weekend I'm gonna go- I'm
and
gonna
it's
go
kind of
watch it. I'm
NFL
gonna see it.
adjacent because Haley Steinfeld's in it and she's the fiance of
Is that right?
Josh Allen.
Yeah,
and
Josh
as you
Allen.
watch her, you say, God made his strongest soldiers those who are married to actors and actresses.
Oh,
Because
really?
if I were Josh Allen,
You would be jealous.
well, I mean, she
she's
gets,
sexy in
she
it?
gets to dance with Michael B. Jordan. She gets to do things with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, definitively, I think Michael B. Jordan, if you had to do a people who are perceived as sexiest men alive, he would be on like 90% of people's ballots, I
Yeah,
think.
girls love that man, bro.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
He's up
Yeah,
there.
they love Michael B. Jordan.
Michael
But she
B.
was really good in it.
Michael B.
All the
Jordan
acting
is
in it good.
unanimously.
Ryan Coogler
regarded
is
as-
awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of somebody else
Awesome.
that, like that girls love, like him.
He's like the unanimous one.
He is.
Like if you asked for a top 5, he would be on the majority.
I don't think that they're because you have to.
You have buff.
What?
Just because he's buff?
He likes
a good-looking guy.
He seems like a nice guy, but he's buff.
Yes.
Well, we all were not introduced
he's
to him.
Killmonger, bro.
He's
Killmonger, bro.
But he's also Creed.
Yep.
He's done the sports movie. He's done the Marvel movie. He's done the thoughtful movie. He's a good actor.
Wallace.
Oh, stop.
He's Wallace.
Stop.
He's Wallace.
He was a child.
When Putin Bodie shot him,
he was a child.
And he peed on himself in the wire.
He was a child.
He was a child. He was. It's
He
crazy.
grew up in these
It is
action
crazy
streets.
seeing him in the wire. How young
It is
he was.
an odd
Yeah.
thing to watch him grow into that role. But yeah, he's incredible, and it just makes me excited for movies.
I'm gonna go watch it.
I'm
gonna find a time.
Yeah.
This weekend, I think I'm gonna go see it too. We got a playoff game Saturday. I might go see it Saturday or something.
Yeah, not a bad
You
idea.
could go Saturday night.
That's what I'm saying.
You listen to the Jessica Benson Show every morning at 8 o'clock. That's gonna do it for today's show.
I want to show you something. I
What?
want to show you something before we go. Don't say what. Show what I just sent y'all in the folder. Memphis changed their football jerseys.
Does it say for the M?
Oh.
What's wrong with you, bro?
Hashtag win for the M.
Thanks
if it has music, they probably can't show it.
Thanks to Devin Walker. Thanks to John Rhodes across the glass. Thanks to Jessica Benson. Thanks to Devin for showing me these jerseys. There they are.
Look at them joints, bro. Look at the new gray joints. Look at that.
Bro, they've worn gray jerseys before.
Yeah.
We know your non-style having ass doesn't know that there's different. They look different, bro. They look different.
I don't think they do.
Okay, not that much different.
I don't think they look. Yeah, that was
Good effort.
that was a bust.
You tried.
Show could have been over 20 seconds.
Yeah, that was. Sorry,
My bad, guys.
Boy, what a terrible reveal. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Thanks to Jalen back at the studio. Until then, we gone.
Keep battling.